Welcome everyone. My name is Nicole Dennis and tonight we have a very special Redox Talks for you. We're talking all things babies and kids, and I have two amazing mamas joining me here today so that we're going to share kind of our experience using ASEA's amazing Redox technology with our kids and babies. So we have Michelle Payne Lawson, who is an amazing mama to three people and three kids that will become people, and also a homeschooling mum to one of her children as well. So she's got some amazing things to share. And also Megan Koufos, who's a mama of four and a wife, and she really does a lot of stuff about new parenting paradigms and things, and always posts lots of great stuff about that. So you can go and follow both of these ladies on Facebook and keep up to date with what they're doing. Michelle runs a lot of workshops and things as well. So we're going to hear a little bit tonight about how you can become empowered around your family's well-being with these incredible solutions for so many things brought to us by ASEA. So ASEA's flagship technology is redox signaling molecules, and basically in a nutshell, they help our cells work better, they help our cells talk to each other, and they help the body to be able to heal and repair much, much more quickly. So the only place that you can get this incredible molecular health technology is through ASEA. It's the only company in the world that has it. And if you want to know more about the science behind it and all of that kind of stuff, you can get back to the person who invited you to this webinar, but we're going to really just focus on our experiences. So I've got a few questions to ask the ladies. I'll share a little bit about myself. So I was introduced to ASEA quite a number of years ago, in 2011, and I had really significant fatigue issues, and that I'd had since I was 13 years old when I contracted a virus. And when I started to drink ASEA, those fatigue issues resolved. I tried so many things up till this point, and this introducing the redox was the thing that really just resolved them completely. So that was pretty amazing to me, and got my husband and I really interested in exploring what this could do. And we saw some amazing results with some friends of ours, incredible benefits. And so then we have gone on to be able to create an amazing global team of people that are all benefiting from these molecules all over the world. And it's also allowed us to create a business where we work from home, and which is really great because we get to stay home and spend a lot of time with our daughter. And that's really, really great. So it's providing an amazing lifestyle as well as having resolved lots of health issues. My husband has his own health story, which I won't go into, but he had some really amazing health results as well. So the first thing I wanted to ask the ladies was, how did you get introduced to redox, and what really piqued your interest about it? So Megan, over to you first.
I was introduced through a friend, and it was really around because I was tired, mama of four, really flat, just no energy. I also had a lot of hormonal issues as well. My monthly cycle was completely out of whack, and just all this stuff. And I actually just took it because I wanted to feel more energized. And so I went on it for 90 days just to see how I went. And that was 18 months ago. And the hormonal issues and the clear skin and the things like that were just like a byproduct of taking it. And then the more that I kind of delved in, and the more that I noticed, and the more that I, used both of the products, like used the gel and the liquid, like the Renew 28, and I just have noticed some incredible things. So I don't have like a huge story, but it's just been this gradual process of noticing, wow, okay, yeah, I didn't realize that. And all these little things have kind of added up, and it's just blown my mind how incredible it's been for me and my family. So
yeah, it's pretty amazing. Great stuff. Okay, so Michelle, how about you? How did you first get introduced to the redox, and what kind of got your interest sparked about it?
Thanks. I was introduced to the redox molecules through Jen and Jeanette, who are on the call, and that's about 3.5 years ago now. And my interest was piqued because I chose to start my family quite late. So I had my third child at 43, and like Megan just said, I was feeling pretty tired. And when Jen and Jeanette talked about energy levels may lift, I was in, just because that sounded great to me.
Yeah.
And the other thing that piqued my interest was how simple it was. There was I started with the gel, and it was just simply rub it on. I thought, I can do that. I like simple. And then I actually saw my dear friend go through a major health challenge, and I saw her recovery with that. So that kind of really tipped me over as well. So it started with general energy interest, and then, like Megan, it started unfolding, and I saw more and more and started understanding. And the benefits started, the byproduct benefits started building up. The skin thing, Megan, which is interesting. I was putting it on my tummy and my face, and before I knew it, my skin was tighter and healthier and more youthful, and people commenting on things like that too, which again wasn't the first reason, but it was a nice byproduct.
So yeah, it's a super nice byproduct, isn't it? Nobody wants more wrinkles, for sure. Yeah. So I think, like, you know, a lot of mums out there are struggling, like, with, you know, tired, just not feeling great. Particularly, like, you know, you've had 3 kids, Michelle. Megan, you've had 4. So it takes a toll on the body, and, like, women do need, I think, extra nourishment and support and things like that, with supplements and nutritional support and things like redox after they have birthed so many kids, as well as, like, looking after the kids as well, takes a lot of energy. So yeah, I know for myself, it really helped me, and I needed a lot of extra support. And I've only got 1 baby, but I needed a lot of extra support after the pregnancy and the birth to be able to restore my energy. So I did use a lot of redox to help me with that, for sure. So I think it made a big difference for me as well. So is there any other things that you want to share that you've noticed for yourself, like, about what changes that you've seen in your body with using the redox? So yeah, for me, I noticed, like, when I went through my pregnancy, I was using a lot of Renew on my stomach and everything as it was expanding in size, and I actually got no stretch marks at all whatsoever on my stomach, and I got quite big because I had some other challenges going on during my pregnancy. But yeah, I had no stretch marks, so that was, like, really, really helpful. And I was also using it a lot on my feet and things like that, because I had really swollen feet throughout my pregnancy. So I found that really, really helpful during that time. And then I was using it a lot afterwards as well to heal from, like, the C-section scar, put the Renew all over my C-section scar, and that really helped. I know you have an amazing story, Michelle, right, around that. Is that you?
For me, you've frozen a little bit, Nick.
Yeah, okay. I will try and get on the other. Damn.
We've lost you. I'm not sure if I should keep talking. Okay, we're back.
Continue on. I will try and get on another source of internet. It's my internet.
It's interesting hearing you talk about that, because I found myself saying a lot after I discovered the gel. I wish I had this while I was pregnant for all my pregnancies. And I came through all my pregnancies and then discovered it. And rather than thinking it was too late, I knew it was about me and my recovery. And putting it on my stomach for digestive help, I then realised it was healing my cesarean scar, which I thought was healed. But as I was observing that, it got flatter, it was less irritated. Every month during my menstrual cycle, it would almost flare up, and that doesn't happen anymore. So again, you know, having it for my pregnancies would have been amazing, but I didn't know about it then. But and that's the biggest thing I would say to anyone now. You know, that whole question around, do you take it if you're pregnant? I know everyone has different sort of concepts or ideas of that, but I certainly would be myself, and I really wish I had it back.
Me.
I'm here. She's frozen.
She's frozen. Oh, we're having all sorts of internet challenges.
Yay, good technology.
I love that. Yeah. So I think, so speaking to if you go into a health food store, so if you are pregnant, considering pregnancy, want to get pregnant, if you go into a health food store, you pick up like a bottle of vitamins or anything like that, it will say on there not to be taken during pregnancy unless you consult with a physician. So this is a standard thing that is on pretty much any kind of natural supplement during that you want to use during pregnancy. So my perspective and what I did is I felt I had to be empowered and educated around what I wanted to put into my body when I was pregnant, because it's not just me, you're also, looking after the health of the baby as well. And a lot of the things that are out there, like particularly supplements, I do know quite a lot about supplements. Some of the supplements that are like mainstream recommended during pregnancy have synthetic iron in it, which will make you constipated. They're full of synthetic vitamins and minerals, which can't really be absorbed by the body. So I think you really have to be empowered, and you have to make that decision for yourself about what you will and won't do during pregnancy, and obviously be safe. But it's really your body, and you have to really educate yourself. So that's just a little aside to Michelle's point there. Yeah. And so how about you, Megan? Anything else that you want to share that you noticed for yourself? And then we're going to talk about the kids.
Similar to Michelle, like I wish that I'd had it during my pregnancies and I didn't know about it. And the beautiful thing is, like, you're just replenishing what's already in your body. So that's why I love the fact that pregnant women can use it, and that's why I use it on my kids and everything. But for me, it was really around, like just body aches and pains. Like I have my back will quite often get pains in it. And I find that the gel has just been fantastic for that. And it's been a thing where I go, oh, okay, like I'll try it, because I've made it work really hard. Like I've made this go, okay, let's see what else you can do. And so my back and just like general body aches and pains, it's been really, really incredible, as I said before, around my hormonal issues and around like that pre-monthly tension, like all that stuff. I just don't get it. I don't get painful monthly bleeds. It's just incredible, all the ways that it's helped heal my body. My skin, I'm not exactly a young spring chicken, but people think that I am, which is incredible, and I love that. My hair, like I use it on my hair because I get a scalp bleach, and we know that they're not probably the best for you, but I love getting my scalp bleaches. And what I do after I get my scalp bleach is I actually put either the gel on or the spray on, and I find that my head is just fine. Like I don't get a sore head, whereas I used to before I was using it. So they're like I've been telling my hairdresser about it. So like all these other little things that you just go, oh, okay, I'm going to try it on that and try it on that. And for me, it's just everything.
Yeah, I think that's like the beauty of it, right? You can use it on just so many things, so you can have one product. Yes, Michelle?
I just thought of something when Megan talked about menopause. I actually think I've gone through menopause and I actually haven't had any issues at all.
Wow.
So I turned 51 in April, and understanding now, looking backwards and learning backwards and doing the research about redox and understanding it, I actually thought, well, this will be interesting, because I've been very regular with my period all my life and knew that one day it would have to change. And all of a sudden I realised I'd skipped a period or two, and I have had all of that stuff that everyone else talks about of being an issue and a negative thing, I've breezed through, and I'm probably about 4 months in without a period, and I actually have to even remember. So I know for a fact it's because of the molecules that over 3.5 years I have built up. And what a great thing that is, because most people talk about not looking forward to that. And I think what an amazing, that all that hormonal stuff has just I've eased through. So
that's a good reason to stay drinking the molecules.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on a little bit and talk about kids and babies and things that you can use the molecules on with them. So I have had quite a different experience, I guess, because I was drinking a Cia when I was pregnant. I was using it the whole time I was breastfeeding. My daughter had like Renew 28 on her, like literally probably like within 10 minutes of being born. So she was like exposed to it like straight away. She actually had some coning, so we put it on there and it just reduced it down. And we've always used Renew on her every day. So you can use it like when you change nappies, for nappy rash, for like they get that teething burn, which can be very painful. Like not all babies get it, but Joy does get it. So we put it on that. And now she will come to me if she falls over, if she does something, hurts herself, she comes to me, she's like, I want magic gel. So that's the first thing that she asks for if she does something, which kids do, right? Like they fall over, they do stuff all of the time. And the other thing that I've noticed and talking to a lot of other mums is, when kids go to daycare, they start to get all of these sickness, like they get all the colds and the flus and everything when they go to daycare. So Joy never experienced any of that when she started daycare. So I didn't have anything to compare it to because she's always had the redox in her life. And what I do is she doesn't drink it every day because she doesn't have any health issues, but I actually leave. I bring the little pouches back from America, which you can't get here, but I actually leave them. She has some at my parents' house in a drawer she can get, and she has some in her playroom where she can get them. And she just is there. That's there for her to go and help herself when she wants to drink it. So she will just go and get it when she wants it, and she just drinks however much that she feels she does. And sometimes, we'll see her drink it several days in a row, and then she won't drink it for a week or two, and then she'll have some. So we really let her just be able to intuitively know how much she needs. And she's never really, Justin had a really bad cold kind of flu thing that went on for a couple of weeks, and she didn't feel well for 3 hours, and she had to sleep, and then she was fine. So
yeah,
it's interesting. I don't have anything to compare it to, but what it was like before and after for her. But she just is quite healthy and robust. And she's 2.5. So which is interesting. So, but Megan, you've noticed some interesting things with your children. You were telling me about your youngest when we spoke, and
well, I work a lot with energy, so being an energy healer and things like that. And one of the things that happened with my third born and started happening with my fourth born Maverick was when they would wake up, they would just start crying hysterically. It wouldn't happen all the time, but quite often when they didn't have a long sleep or they were hot or something, they'd just wake up and just start crying hysterically. And energetically, what I was shown is it's they're sort of in their dreamland, having this beautiful dream, then all of a sudden it's clonk and you wake up. And energetically he was just going, no, I don't want to be back here. I don't want to be awake. And I couldn't, I was doing Reiki and I was doing energy healing and clearing and things like that. And I couldn't work out how to make the transition from sleep into wake smoother for him. And my beautiful mentor Miriam said, try putting the gel on him, on his legs every night, every day before you put him down, and see how he goes. And within a week he was, and I ended up doing a live video because he would wake up laughing. And I'm like, oh my God, and now whenever he goes to sleep, he lifts up his feet and he goes, oh, a walk, a walk. That's what he says to put the gel on, because he's 2. He's like, oh, a walk, and he puts his feet up and then he lifts his belly up and he's like, ooh, belly, his belly, because he knows, he just gets it. Our kids are so tuned in and tapped in that they know what's good for them. They know what works for them. And so it's just been incredible to witness. And that was one that really made me go, wow, to see the change in him from that. And from having it with my third born and knowing, feeling hopeless and not having anything to support and not knowing what to do, that we just kind of had to write it out. It's a really beautiful, empowering thing. And watching him, because he will drink it most days. When I drink it, he'll have a little sip of mine, and he's so funny. He'll drink it and then he goes, bah! But then he'll drink more. So it's he's just being honest about the taste. But then he will still drink more because he knows that it's he loves it. But watching my other kids who will still, they have their own little bottles of spray, and they'll use the gel when they've got aches and pains or temperatures or anything like that. But just watching how quickly he will get over something, as compared to them. It's because he's had it, I think, longer in his life. It's really, really interesting to just witness and to compare. So there's some of my beautiful experiences. Like, I love now that my kids will ask for it, like similar to Joe, whenever they fall over or whenever they've got an ache or whenever they've got a pain or anything, they're like, oh, Mum, can we have some Acia? I'm like, of course, yeah, go, lather it on. And but and I think as a mum, to know that you've got something natural, and to know that when they, you know, they do fall down, or they do get hurt, or, you know, they get a graze, or they have something, or you know, vomiting, tummy bugs, like we've used it for things like that, and then they've just cleared up within a couple of hours. And I think as a mum, knowing that you have that in your cupboard and knowing that it's natural and it's just replenishing what the body already has is such an empowering space to come from. And it's incredible what it does, and to witness it.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. Thank you. Thanks for sharing all of that. It's great. I love having something that you can just use, and you can use it for so many different things. It's amazing, super amazing. Joy actually fell down at daycare and cut her forehead open, and was like, we're like, oh, we have to take her to the doctor because they glue it back together now, not stitch, needed to be glued back together, but we put heaps of gel on it on the way there, and she was like laughing when the doctor was washing it out. I'm like, that must be really sore. But it wasn't. Like, it was, she was like, she thought it was like funny. She was like fascinated looking at what the doctor's doing, and he's like cleaning out this open thing with like disinfectant, which, you know, doesn't feel nice. And yeah, she was like completely cool with it, I was like, wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So Michelle, I know you've had some great experiences with your kids as well. So, and
yeah. And it's funny, just listening to Megan, I've just had a realisation while I'm sitting here, so I'm just going to start and share that. I was a mum that breastfed for a long time, and it's different for everybody. I'm not saying that's the be all and end all, but for me it worked. And so I breastfed each one of them for quite a long time. And whenever they got sick when they were little, all I would think of is just breastfeed. It's native, it's my body, just do that. So I was never someone to have Panadol and medicine in the house. And I didn't realise until just now that there was a big gap for a while. I didn't know what to do when my kids were sick. And now giving them Renew or the liquid, it's just like going back to how I used to just do breast milk. It's native to the body. And hearing Megan just say that, that's what it feels like for me, is, again, having something, it's empowering to know that it's native to the body, it's what our body already produces, and just to give that back to our children and to ourselves is... it's a relief, I guess, because I'd never felt there's anything else out there since breast milk. So perfect. What I wanted to say is I've got a 16-year-old, 11-year-old and 8-year-old. And I spoke to my 16-year-old yesterday and said, this interview is happening. Can I have your permission to share? Because I think it's really important to ask our kids if they're old enough to ask. And she said, if it's going to help people, absolutely. So I have her full permission. She had a period of life in those teenage years where things were overwhelming. She wasn't coping with day-to-day teenage life, entering into high school, all of that sort of stuff, friendships and things. And it was a little bit debilitating for a while. And that was around the time that we found Renew and Acia. So I started her on the gel, and she used to just rub it all over her face twice a day and around the back of her neck. And we noticed very quickly her clarity of mind, less fuzziness, less confusion, her confidence and everything lifted and leveled. And school just changed for her after that. She was already doing well academically, but she was struggling with the day-to-day challenges and feeling overwhelmed. And that now just doesn't happen. So she's a daily Renew user. She doesn't generally drink Acia, but just recently she was in a big production where she was lead and had to sing a lot and rehearse a lot. So she went through a bottle of Acia over the 2 weeks leading up to her performance, just in case she didn't want to get anything. And she was the only one out of the whole 35 of them that didn't feel burnt out, and she just bounced back after that. So it was great to know that she could add that in if she needed it. And she doesn't have that typical teenage skin. She has beautiful skin. Everyone says, how do you not have all these pimples and things? So that's great for her. the 11-year-old doesn't use it as much. She rubs it on, and she's aware that she's having a little bit of breakout happening now in those preteen sort of years. But she will be the first one to grab it if she's got those dry lips in winter. Get those dry lips. Those girls, they sort of lick their lips a lot. It's that age group that they get that kind of red lips. Or dry skin around her hands, and if she falls over, scrapes her knees, that sort of thing. But that's not happening so much for her at that age. The 8-year-old, a boy, and we pretty much have it constantly with us when we go with Christian anywhere, because he's either falling off his scooter, just tripping up the stairs. He's just one of those boys that is gung-ho, he's full on, and he will, like Joy and your children, Megan, he'll just go, where's the tube? So I have it in the bathroom, in the kitchen, and in the car. I was talking to Nicole this morning and talking about that. It's always in the handbag. Don't leave home without it, is what we say. And he's actually has some challenges with sensory and processing sensory processing issues. So therefore he couldn't be at school. So that's why I've taken him out of school to homeschool. So for him, he was using the gel. I was rubbing on his feet every night, and like your boy Megan was, put his feet up and lay back and go, where's my massage? And on his tummy as well. But I think for me, it was just the best way to get it into him. He didn't want to drink the liquid for a while. But then on the Renew group, I saw a story one day about a little boy. It was a picture of him holding a seer, and he was saying, I now can go back to school. I don't get into so much trouble at school. So I read this to Christian, and he really resonated with the story at the level that he could. And from then on, he said, where is that drink? So he will drink a cup every morning and every night, and he intuitively sort of knows how much he needs. Some days he'll have half a cup, other times he'll have a cup, and it's just there for him to readily drink it. And he's been doing that now consistently for about 5 months, and I've really seen a calming and a grounding for him in his whole nature. And we've also started taking the Via Source, the Biome, for his gut health, the probiotic, I think it is. And I think it will take longer for him, but I really have that confidence and know that it's going to level out more and more. I can just see it as a long-term thing. So, that's pretty much how we're all using it in the house. I just wanted to mention all three of them because you can see they're all very different reasons, and just 2 products. And so simple. You don't need to go and ask someone if it's okay. It's just here, and they can just help themselves. So like you, Megan, it's just great that they intuitively know it's good for them.
Yeah, super amazing. Well, does anyone have a question for Megan or Michelle, or anything that you'd like to comment, or questions? You can either put them in the chat box or unmute yourself and ask a question. But thank you so much, ladies, for sharing. Like, it's very different, like so many different stories and different things that you can use it for. But yeah, as they both said, carry a tube with you, have it with you, because you get an insect bite, a sting, sunburn, anything, you just put it on, and it helps. We had a green ant bite at the shopping centre the other day in the car park. We were in the car park, green ant bite through the tights. But really sore, like putting it on. We're like, it'll be all right in a minute. Any questions for Michelle or Megan? No questions? So everyone. But yeah, it's great that you've had great results with your kids, and I really enjoyed talking to you both before we set this up and hearing about your results, because I've always had my baby on redox. So I guess that's shown in, for me, when hearing a lot of the other challenges that people have with their children, not sleeping through the night, all of those things, we just never had those. It just never ever happened. Was always more calm, and Joy slept through from 6 weeks. Don't hate me too much, but she did, and has never woken up again. Maybe 6 times we've had to, when she's had teething or something like that, she's woken up. And that's it. She, like 6 weeks, she was just like, off she goes, and that's it. She doesn't wake up until 7 in the morning.
Perfect. It's I think I was saying to you last night that I always wish that I'd had it for my older kids when they were going through the baby stage. Because I think it would have helped my oldest a lot, like when he was young, because he was just chronically unwell all the time. So I think, if there's any mums kind of questioning whether to get it and when to start it, like you said, like before they're born, like even before you conceive, like it's just get it into you and get it into them. And it's just the most incredible thing. So
well, this isn't scientific, but I think I was talking to you about this a bit, Megan. So I was actually in hospital in the emergency room 2 to 3 nights a week until I was 5 years old with breathing issues. Could breathe, bad asthma attacks, basically would have to my parents would have to take me to the emergency room. And my husband, Justin, had multiple surgeries by the time he was 5 on his ears and on his, sinuses and things like that. So logically, we shouldn't have a baby that is so healthy and doesn't have any health issues, but that's what we've observed. And, I wonder, is that because of the redox? And I can kind of, another personal experience that I've had, highlight this too, and it's with animals. So we had 2 toy poodles, and one of them, she had a few health issues when we got her, and we kind of sorted that all out. And the other one, he has got some emotional health issues, which we've never really been able to, he has anxiety. And anyway, we had puppies. They had puppies, and we gave redox to the mother the whole time that she was pregnant and when she was breastfeeding the puppies. And then we gave it to the puppies when they were younger. They have no health issues. One of the puppies that we kept, he is so the mum dog is 4.2 kilos and the dad dog is 4.9. He is 7.9 kilos. He is so much bigger and stronger than the other dogs and faster. And that's the only, that's what we did that was different. So that's been my observation with my own baby and my fur babies. And I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. The difference, you can see the difference in the health and vitality of that next generation in animals and in joy as well.
It's incredible.
My fur babies, I've got 3 Cavaliers, and if they're ill, I'll give them a little bit of a sear, and within an hour they're back to normal.
Amazing.
Did
you have anything else, Michelle?
I just wanted to mention my friend who's on the call, another Michelle. She was just asking in the chat how she can find out more. So I just wanted, if you wanted to mention that, I can talk to her about that tomorrow. But
so just to wrap up, so whoever invited you to this call tonight, if you go back to them, and they will tell you how you can purchase ASEA's products. So these incredible products are brought to us through a person-to-person relationship marketing model. They really do need some explanation and some support. People will be able to tell you the best ways that you can use them, connect you to resources for lots of different things and ways that you can use the products, beyond what we have just talked about here tonight. So if you get back to that person, they will be able to connect you up with all of those resources and make sure that you have a really fantastic product experience and make sure that you get it for the best price as well. And really, really amazing. So it's fantastic to do. Any other questions? Any final questions? Just check the chat box. Thank you for sharing your experiences. I love the different ways you use it with the family. Some great stories. Thank you so much, both Michelle and Megan. So very inspirational. Yes.
Hi, Nicole. Danica here. I've got a toddler like you. Willow's only 3. And I just want to say Renew is the best thing. I mean, like all the other kids, it's her magic cream. Even at daycare, a lot of daycares won't accept medication to be in their bag in case they get ill, but ASEA and Renew they will accept. So if she ever hurts herself at daycare, even the educators will go, if you get Willow's magic cream, she'll be absolutely fine. And This weekend she had a 39-degree fever. She doesn't take medication. She will gag up her Nurofen. So Renew across her forehead and on, around the back of her neck, and it brings it right down. Yeah. So yeah, as confirmation for anybody else out there, it is awesome, especially it really is. I wouldn't be without it.
Yeah, super incredible for kids.
That's a really good point, actually, Nicole. I went to an information night for my 11-year-old. It's their year 6 camp to Sydney, Canberra. So, they're flying down, they have 4 nights, and everybody's talking about filling in the forms for Panadol, etc., because they have to. And I just leaned over to Harper and she said, I know what you're going to say. I'll just pack my tube of Renew. And again, it goes in the toiletry bag, like the toothpaste, the Renew. Yeah. There's no medication. There's no issue with having it. Just put it on your body. I just reminded me again hearing. That's why I love having these calls, because I forget half the time how much we use it until I hear someone else say it and think, oh my gosh, that's right. And camping, always take it camping.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You gotta take it everywhere. Take it everywhere, because it's so good. I also have a tube in the kitchen, in case I burn myself when I'm cooking. Yeah. And just put it straight on, which I try not to do, but sometimes I do.
And thank you for inviting me. It's been really lovely. Nice to meet Megan too.
Yeah, thank you so much for being our guest this evening and for sharing your stories and sharing about your families. That's really special for everyone to be able to hear that. So if you want to share this recording with people, we will post it tomorrow in the Renew with Redox Facebook group. So you'll be able to grab the recording from there. Fen Marie, my assistant, she'll post it there tomorrow.
Thank you.
So you'll be able to share it. People couldn't get on because I know this is not the ideal time for a lot of mamas to get on a call at 7:30.
Yeah, I can't believe how quiet it is out there. You've done well. What's up, you, Megan? I don't know where you're for.
My 4 are in bed, actually. They were
beautiful.
I'm like, right, that's it. The baby played up a bit, but I'm like, right, that's it. You're going to be in bed. Hubs is
well done.
He's on duty, so
yeah.
If they stir up, he gets to look after them.
You'd like to stay on a bit longer then?
Yeah, I'm happy to stay on a bit and have questions, or you want to chat, we can have a cuppa.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. Thank you so much, ladies. And, make sure you get back to the person who invited you to this or who sent you this video if you're watching the recording, and ask them how you can have these amazing molecules in your life as well.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Everyone.